All right, guys. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing? Let me know. Let me know. How were the previous sessions and did you guys really enjoy it or not? Let me know. Okay, okay. Good evening, guys. Good evening again. All right, all right. So today is our second last class. Okay, or second last session that is regarding our OWASP top 10 and web application pen testing. Okay. So yes, sir, we enjoyed a lot and learned a lot. Great, guys. Great. Okay. So today we are going to start with the topic of OWASP top 10 first. Then we are going to web application pen testing, right? And we will see certain kind of vulnerabilities. For example, SQL injection, XSS, or command injection, CSRF, those kind of things we will discuss. Okay. All right. Let's start. Okay. Now coming to this page, OWASP top 10, if you search in your browser, this will be the first result that you will get. Okay. So here you will see this is a listing of vulnerabilities, right? That was the latest one is 2021 and the previous one before that was the 2027. Okay. So here you will see there is a list of vulnerabilities or the ranking. Okay. So until 2027, this injection was in top, then broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, XML, external entities, broken access control, security misconfigurations, XSS, insecure deserialization, and others. Okay. Now coming to 2021, the scenario has changed a bit. Okay. And you can see there is some shifting and changes between the ranking of the vulnerability. Okay. So you have to follow this while you are following the trend of web application pen testing. Okay, so you can see broken access control is on top, right? So for the last 3 or 4 years, this has been on top. Okay, so we can expect the next one to be refreshed on 2025, right? So for 2021 version, this broken access control is on top, right? Then there is cryptographic failure. Then we have injection, right? So injection was on top on 2027, but in 2021 you can see it's on third position. Then insecure design, security misconfig, vulnerable and outdated components, then other things. Okay, so you should follow this by heart when you are learning about web applications. Okay, and here you will see there is a brief description about these vulnerabilities. Okay, so if you just take a look into broken access control, moves up from the fifth position. 94% of application were tested for some form of broken access control. The 34 common weakness enumeration CWEs mapped to broken access control had more occurrences in application than any other category. So you can understand from this 94% of applications, right? So this is a huge number, and you can understand by the severity of this broken access control vulnerability. Now broken access control has a multiple kind of categories in itself. Okay, so we are going to see that as well. Okay, now coming to the next is cryptographic failure, and let's take a little bit closer look into this injection one, right? So if you guys follow the trend of bug bounty and all, you will see that XSS is a very common bug, right? So you will see that whoever who are the top content creators of bug bounty, for example Nahamsek and others, you will see they cover a lot of the part on XSS, right? So from that point of view, you can say that XSS is one of the most commonly found bugs these days, right? Now coming to the other things, that is security misconfiguration and others, you just take a look, and every time I would suggest when you are learning about web application, keep this in notes. Okay, follow this page, right? Now coming to the next page, that is OWASP cheat sheet. Okay, this is a very good place where you can find the cheat sheet of your different kind of security issues. Okay, just type in your browser OWASP cheat sheet and this page will appear on top as well. Okay, if you just check this Ajax security, this will give you the brief understanding and what are the things you will require in that. Okay, so here you will see just like building HTML or SQL, you will use XML injection works. So stay away from this, or at least use an encoding library or safe JSON or XML library to make attributes and element data safe, right? And it has mentioned XSS and SQL injection prevention, right? So here you will see the exploitable category. Here is object and inside an array, not exploitable object, not inside an array, right? So this is probably the user input, the whatever input the user is providing. If that is inside an array, that might be exploitable, right? So you have to go through this, right? Then let's just come to this cross-site scripting prevention. No, we don't need prevention. Okay, cross-site request forgery. Okay, so here it is mentioning the Reacts dangerously set inner HTML without sanitizing the HTML, right? So it mentions the different kind of things or different prevention methods or the vulnerable piece of code that you will see usually and with which you can exploit like regular or common web applications as well. Okay, so this cheat sheet is also very important, and there are multiple technology that are vulnerable. Okay, so the list here is pretty big compared to this top 10 list. Okay, so just take a look into this. All right, now coming to the next one is OWASP web security testing guide. Okay, so this is the testing guide. This is a guideline that is provided while you are working towards a web application pen test, right? So guides project is repo is over here, GitHub repo. If you just check it out over here, then you will see the different kinds of attribute that is involved in this. Okay, so from here we will just get into the checklist. Okay, and checklist you will see web application web security testing guide checklist version 4.2.xlsx. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so this one you can download, and after downloading you will see that this is a Excel sheet which involves a lot of vulnerabilities or things that you need to check while you are performing a web application pen test. Okay, let's get here. Okay, so this is just the first page, that is information gathering and test name and objectives. So you can use this in your personal tests as well. Okay, now there are other pages in this as well. Summary findings, if you go, so you can make your list: vulnerability name, then the category, effect, affected host or path, the impact, likelihood, and the risk. Okay, then there is a risk assessment calculator. So this is provided beforehand. You can use this to like categorize your findings, right? So if you have found something that is related to SQL injection and through that you are being able to get like full account takeover, then that will definitely be in the critical category, right? So this will help you out to figure out what you are getting and how you should like communicate with your clients, right? Then there is reference, other things you will be able to see. So from there, this one is the most important part. Okay, check this out and follow this. Okay, now coming to the next one is there is another checklist which is made by this creator. Okay, so let's just download this one as well. So here you will see there are this is more varied than that one. So just check here: conduct search engine discovery reconnaissance for information leakage, right? Fingerprint web services, review web server metafiles for information leakage, right? So this is the first phase. For example, information gathering. Coming to the next one is configuration and deploy management testing, right? Identify management testing. Just go to sixth one, session management testing. Ninth one is cryptography. then there is business logic testing. So you can use this for your testing purposes. Okay, and what you need to understand before like going into the industry and testing your skills is that if you find one vulnerability in the website as a pen tester, then probably your manager will scold you. Okay, so you have to follow this and you have to try your best to find as much as information you can find. Okay, so from this also the basic understanding you can get from this is there are a lot of parameters or lot of things that you need to test while you are performing a penetration test on a web application, right? Just in the information gathering phase you will see there are 10 steps and 10 things which you have to perform, and in the very one step also, the first step also, you have to perform different kind of tests, right? So for that I would suggest you learn a little bit of scripting as well. Okay, so that you can just like shorten your task a little bit, shortcut for that. Okay, all right, now you can like implement this skills or you can just use it from the OWASP juice shop. Okay, it is present in Try Hack Me as well. There is a lab called OWASP juice shop. You can solve this by yourself. This is pretty easy for a from a beginner's point of view, right? Or either you can like install this OWASP juice shop in your Kali machine also using Docker. Okay, so for that, before you have to install your Docker, and after that you can like Docker build this in your device's Docker system, right? So from there you will be able to solve the challenges. You will see there is the Docker container, right? This is the, after you install Docker, you just run these commands and it will establish the connection. Okay, so this is it for OWASP. Now coming to our web application pen testing. Okay, so the best website or the place to learn for web application is our PortSwigger Academy. Okay, just go there, create your account. Okay, let me just log in into this. All right, so here if you just come to this academy, this will open, and from here learning paths, or just click on view all topics. Okay, so here you will see server side topic, that is SQL injection, authentication, path traversal, command injection, right? This is listing out all the vulnerabilities that is currently being found. Okay, so server side topics, client side topics, advanced topics, and there is a Burpsuit certified practitioner. Okay, so out of these, the very common one, if you see from a pen testing point of view, that is your SQL injection, right? So SQL injection is one of the most commonly found vulnerabilities in a web application, right? Now besides that, there are others as well. Okay, the path traversal, command injection, then you have got here SSRF, server side request forgery, file upload vulnerabilities. Okay, now from here we will take a look into the XSS, right, and cross-site request forgery. Okay, and here for the time being we don't have anything to cover here, because if we go to explain every single vulnerability in this, our time will just pass away. Okay, all right, now coming to SQL injection. Okay, so from here you will see this is the basic structure of SQL injection, but we are not going to follow this. We are going to follow our own way. Okay, so just come to your terminal and type sudo systemctl start mysql. Okay, this is started. Sorry, I just need to change my directory. So now just type on sudo mysql and this should start working. Okay, so here this is your own database that is present in your local device. Okay, so what you can do after this is done, just show databases, and just let me type this. Okay, so these are the databases that are present in my SQL server of my current Kali Linux machine. right? So I have created to this one SQL demo for our understanding. Okay, so what we will do after show databases, you have to just do, okay, I am having some problem here, just a second guys. So let's use SQL demo. Okay, so database is changed. Now just click show tables of. Okay, so there is one table only, that is users table, and when you are like performing your SQL injection, this users table only consists all the or contains all the username, password, and the information about the users, right? So this is the most important table that you need to know about. Now I have created some certain things here, so we will just take a look into that. All right, so let's see. If we do select star from users, right, so you will see that it is showing us the username, password, and age. Okay, so the first user is Alan, password 456 hash 33. Then there is Joseph, admin 123, and age 27. Right, so this is how your data or any data is stored in a MySQL server. Okay, is that clear guys? Let me know, did you understand this much? Let me know in the chat section. Now we are going to deep dive into the SQL queries also, no need to worry about that. Okay, so what we did in this query, if you see, select star from users, right, select star from users. So can anyone tell me what is the significance of this star or this star over here or multiplication symbol? Can anyone tell me what is the significance of this? All right, exactly. Everything that is inside this users table, we can dump it out with this wildcard, right? So from the basic understanding also, previous sessions when we were discussing about footprinting, I have said this star means wildcard, right? So this wildcard will bring us every information that is present in this users table, right? Now if we do something like select age from users, where username equals Alan, right? So what this will do? This will bring out the age of the username Alan. Okay, let's just copy this out and try to understand the query. What we are doing over here, guys. So by this, we are instructing the SQL server, MySQL server, that if the username is equal to Alan, okay, so if this string matches with any of the string that is present in your table, right, that is username column, right, try to understand it again. If this string, they don't know that it is a name or not, they just understand that it is a string, right? So if the username column matches with this string, then bring out the age of that, like bring out the number or the integer that is present in this age column, right? Is that clear guys? Okay, so this is the basic of like SQL queries. Now if we do something like select password from users, where username equal to Joseph, right? Right, so this gave us the password of the user Joseph. Now let's understand or try to understand the logic behind this query. Okay, username Joseph, right? So what we are doing now, if the this string matches with the strings, any of the strings present in the username column, then bring out whatever is present in that related to this string to the password column and dump that in our terminal. That's what we asked this MySQL to do here, perform here, right? So admin 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, if we do something like select password from users where username equals to Alan or Joseph. All right. So what did this do? When we did a query like this, there are two conditions that we provided. Okay, just Control V. There are two conditions that we provided, right? So if the username column, right, matches any of these two strings, right, then bring out the password related to that string from the password column, right? So in this case, the very first one was Alan, right? So what it did, like the first condition was satisfied, right? So it did not bother about checking the second condition, or Joseph, it did not bother about checking that, right? So for the username Alan or this particular string, this matches with the database, right? So it brought the password of this user Alan. Okay, so this is the significance of this or operator or command in SQL, right? But if we do a little bit change in this, password from users where username equals to Alan or username equals to Joseph, then let's see, it gave us both of the passwords, right? So when we were like here, we defined one parameter and ask one parameter to check for two logics or two conditions, right? So that was not convenient enough for us. Now we are giving the same parameter but twice, right? So we are giving this username parameter twice and with two different conditions to match. Now it will check for both of them. Okay, clear that much? This is how our SQL query works. Now the command that I have shown in the very beginning, that select star from users, right? So this is nothing but this has no particular condition to match, right? So this will dump out everything that is in the database. Okay, so this is the basic understanding of our SQL injection. Now we will jump into the labs and see how to solve them, right? Take this out. Okay. Let's just go to the labs and see. Okay. SQL injection vulnerability in where clause allowing retrieval of hidden data. Let's solve one easy lab and then go to the hard ones. Okay. So let's just click on access lab and our burp is ready. All right, so this is the outlook of the lab. Okay, now let's just check the lab description. Okay, this lab contains a SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter when the user selects a category, the application carries out a SQL query like the following: select star from products where category equal to gift and released equal to 1. To solve the lab, perform a SQL injection attack that causes the application to display one or more unreleased product. Okay, so here you will see there are two conditions and both of them have to be correct. Okay, now if we check this one, here we were doing OR, right? So either one of the condition, if one of them is true, then it will give us the output. But here if you see, here is a AND clause. Okay, so AND means both of them, the category equal to gifts and released equal to 1, these have to be true. Okay, so what we are going to do here, okay, now let's just browse a little bit, okay, and see what the category parameter is doing over here. You will see accessories, let's see the clothes, okay, then there is gift, then there is pet, okay, and we have got something on our, I did not turn the proxy on. Let's go to gift and HTTP history. You will see send to repeater, and let's analyze this. Okay, so what's happening over here is when the category you are giving is gifts, this is true, right? This condition is true, and the released equal to ones. So from the lab description, you should understand that this is only displaying the products that are being displayed, that are being released, right? Release equal to 1, right? So these products are released in this category and it will only list out those. But our object is to print out the like unreleased products as well. So coming to burp, you see the pro and release equal to 1, that parameter is not mentioned over here. So if you just directly send this request, it is giving 200. Okay, now let's just do one thing. Let's add just one single quote over here, okay, and just send it. So this is giving us 500 internal server error. What this means, guys, can anyone tell me what does this mean? If you can crack this logic, you will crack the understanding of SQL injection. Tell me what's happening here. What does or what difference that single quote made? Tell me. Why are we getting the 500 internal server error? And what is the significance of this? Tell me. Let me know in the chat section, guys. Happens when the server encounters an unexpected condition that prevents it from the request. Yes. Okay. Wrong query. Okay, almost correct. Any more? Okay, so I'll just explain it. What happens here is this was supposed to be the query, right? Now what's happening when we added this particular single quote over here, right? So this one got injected over here and there was an extra single quote in the query, right? So if you just paste this, so this is the query currently. Now there is one single quote that is not being closed, right? So this might be troublesome for the server because the server cannot understand what does this single quote do. Okay, so the server is unable to understand like what am I supposed to do with this, right? So what by this 500 error we should understand that our query was injected successfully and it got executed, and when it was executed it faced a trouble while execution. That's why we are getting this 500 internal server error. Got my point? Our single quote was injected successfully, okay, and it caused an error in the SQL query that caused the 500 error. Okay, so if you could understand this, SQL injection should be clear to you. Okay, we will see the labs now. Now this is what we did over here, right? Now we are just going to do a little bit more than this. Okay. let's just do a little bit error for him, or let's just do in the burp only. Let's just add 2 more colons or the hyphens. Right, now this is giving 200. Okay, right, so we just need to do in the web application also. Okay, so you will see our query is also being reflected over here. And when we have when we saw the gift category for first time, it was showing us 3 products. Now we are getting 4 products. Okay, so these are the small changes you need to keep an eye on. Right, now let's understand this query, what happened here. Right, let's just copy this out. This is what happened. Right, this is the reason we were getting 200. Okay, so what actually happened over here is, first we injected our single quotes, then we did 2 hyphens. Right, now the first gift category, this name or this string gifts, this string was a valid string, and we closed it with our first single quote. Right, then adding these 2 like hyphens, we commented out the rest of this portion. Okay, we commented the rest of this portion. Right, so for in Python we use hash as making comments. In SQL we use this double hyphens. Okay, so that's what we did here. We commented out the rest of the part, so the server does not need to validate the rest of this part. Okay, and it will be happy enough with the this much only. Okay, so this looks like a complete query to the server. The server will think, yeah, this is all I would need to give you an output. Okay, it won't care about the rest of the part because we made it a comment. Okay, now we have to add more a little bit. We have to give it another condition, because here if you see, it gave us one, that is unreleased product. We need more. Okay, so we have to provide it another condition that is true. Right, so here you will see it had already 2 conditions, right? Gifts and released, but here we are only giving it one condition. So we will give another condition to the server that will never be false. So the famous, very famous, or 1 equals 1. Isn't it beautiful, guys? So we will just copy this out and we will paste it here and see what we can accomplish with this. Okay, so let's see. This is giving way more products which it was giving before. Right, now let's understand the query. Okay, test it out. Okay, so previously it was having 2 conditions, that is category is something valid and released equal to 1, which was showing us only the released products. Right, now we created a certain situation which the server cannot deny at any case. No matter how secure they are, they will never be able to deny this condition. Right, will you be able to deny this condition? No. Will Google be able to deny this? No. Or any other company? No. Okay, so we are giving it something inevitable that it will not be able to avoid. Okay, so what happened when we were giving this, they were giving us the released products. When we gave this, it was giving us the released product that was only in the gifts category. It was not a wildcard, it was not a dump. Okay, it was not a proper dump. But when we gave this to it, like this was an inevitable or like undeniable condition, it gave us the output for all the categories or all the products that were not released yet. Okay, can you see that? So many products, but previously gift category was showing us only 3. Okay, so this is how your SQL injection works. Now we will see a little bit more difficult lab. Okay, let's clear this out and our burp go to proxy unit, clear the history. Okay, so which one shall we solve? Let's see. Microsoft querying the database type and version. No, we will dump something. Finding a column containing text. No. Database contents on non-Oracle database. Let's do this one. Okay. All right, let's open this lab and take a look to the lab description. Okay, so it is saying that the lab contains a SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter. The results from the query are returned in the application's response. So you can use a union attack to retrieve data from other tables. So for the union attack, you need to know about the SQL injection clause and verbs. Okay. This is showing the cheat sheet only. Let's see. Okay, so it is not mentioning that separately. So what I meant by that search is, for example, we are using this, for example, from, right? This is a SQL clause, right? So where, this is another clause. Okay, now coming to the next, when, right? This is another clause. Then, right? From, and, dual, right? So these things you need to understand beforehand before jumping into your SQL injection. Okay, so right, coming to the lab, let's read the description one more time. The application has a login function and the database contains a table that holds username and password. You need to determine the name of this table and column insert in it contains, then retrieve the contents of the table to obtain the username and password of all users. Okay, and to solve the lab, login as administrator. Great. Okay, so what we will do, our history is cleared, so we will just turn our burp on and we will go to my account. Okay, so this one seems nothing is here. We just need to, let's see, product category filter only. So let's just take a look into this. Let's go for pets now. Now come to your HTTP history in the proxy section to this and go to repeater. And for the very first thing we did in the previous one, we will start with our single quote. And we are getting a 500 internal server error. So our query is working, right? Now, there is one thing you need to do to find out how many columns or like tables we have, right? So for that, can anyone tell me which clause do we use? Anyone? Okay, I'll tell you. So for this one, you have to use the checkout order by one, right? So let's URL encode this, Control U and send this. So this is giving us 200. Okay, so that means we have one column at least. Now we will do 2 over here and send. So this means we have 2 columns as well. Now if we do 3, it will give us 500 internal server error, right? So this means we have 2 columns. Okay, clear guys? So you can use this order by clause to determine how many columns are there. Okay, so we have found 2 columns. Now we need to find which column has what, like is one of them have any kind of character or string, or anyone has any kind of integer in that. So that we have to find out. Let's just revert that. Oh god, right? So what we will do union this time. Union select a comma null, right? And close this out, and URL encode this and send. So this is giving 200. Okay, so the first one, like the out of those two columns, the first column is a string. Okay, now let's see what about the second column. Let's do same only, and this one is also giving 200, right? So this means both of these have strings in it. Okay, both of these columns that we found have string in its category, right? Now if you just take a look into the lab description, it is mentioning a non-Oracle database. So listing the database contents, we have the cheat sheet. So comment database version database contents is here. So before finding out which one we have to take, we need to check out these three as well, because it has mentioned non-Oracle, but it did not mention which one out of these three. So we have to like see the test for Microsoft and MySQL is same, and PostgreSQL is a different. Okay, so let's start with this MySQL only. So come to your burp and remove this part. Okay, what we will do, union space union select version. Let's just copy it from there. Oh, sorry, this one was it. @ version is the syntax for finding the version of this. Okay, so just paste it out, and comma, you have to add your null, because there are two columns and we are giving one column over here. So for the next one we have to keep it null, right? So let's just URL encode this and see the output. So this one is giving us 500 error. So this means neither Microsoft nor MySQL. So it should probably be our PostgreSQL, right? So let's copy this out. This only version this much. Just copy it, and over here paste it out. URL encode this part and see. All right, so 200. Okay, and if you search for version over here, you will see no this one, version equals only one match, two matches. Where is the next one? Okay, so here you will see the pets app category, it is showing up. Let's just see the show response in browser. Copy this out. Okay, so our query is reflecting over here, but we are not getting the version of it. Okay, here is the version. See, PostgreSQL 12.18, right, on x86-64 PC Linux GNU, compiled by GCC, and this. So this is the version of the PostgreSQL server that is being currently used. Okay, so if you just check here, we are not getting that. We have to check that response individually. Okay, so by that we got our confusion cleared, and our query will be on PostgreSQL. Now coming to the cheat sheet again, database contents. So from here you will see select star from information schema dot tables, and we'll just copy this out and paste there. Okay, and just okay. All right, so the first one is PostgreSQL select star means wildcard from information schema dot tables, right? So we are going to use this one first. Okay. All right, now we have to craft our payload, that is single quotes union select table name, because here it is mentioning star, but if you are trying to perform a wildcard over here, then what will happen, the data will be too big for you to analyze. Okay, so for that we are doing this table name. So what this will bring out, this will give us the information or the list of tables that are present in this information schema. Okay, so This one was the first query. Next one will be null, right? From, or you can do this as well, information schema dot tables. Control C, Control V, right? And two hyphens in the end. Let's just copy this out and paste it here, and URL encode this. Control U and send. Okay, so we don't need the version right now. We need the, let's have some graphical vision of that. So this is giving us the name of the tables, right? So these are the tables that is present in the database. Okay, all the tables. This is giving us all the tables, and out of which we have something that will be useful to us. For example, the users table, right? So this one is pretty, like, let's just search it, users, and this is the name of the table, users ITTXGI. So this is their name. All right, we got that. Now what we will do, we will try to bring out the like columns that are present in this table. Okay, so that is probably username and password colon. So what we have got, okay, so now we will generate our payload here also. Right, so we have to do union select column name comma null from information schema columns. Okay, Control V, where table name. So you can see here it is mentioning where table name equal to the table name that you found, right? So table name equals to this one, right? Control C, Control V, and two hyphens in the end. Okay, so this one is the query. This time I'll just copy this and just remove it. What is wrong? Move away. Control V. Control U, and let's just send this. Okay, so we have done some. Okay, let's just use single quotes here. Okay, columns, information schema dot columns where table name equal to users ITTXGI. Let's see, 200. Okay, so you have to use single quotes. Okay, so now we will again see the response in browser. Copy this out, paste it, and so there is password column and there is username column. Let's copy the name of both. Control V and copy this. Okay, so in general, if you go to any kind of web application or server, the names will generally be username and password only. This one is for the purpose, like this abstract name is for the purpose to make it a bit difficult for you to solve. Okay, that's all, nothing more than that. Okay, now coming here, we have to make our last query. Okay, which we will use to gather information or dump out this from there. Now what we will do, union select username, select both, comma, because there are two columns, right, and both of them are strings, so we have to give this, right, from this users table, right? Control C, Control V, and in the end two hyphens, and this should be enough. Okay, let's go and inject this. Control V, Control U, and let's pray we get our output. Yeah, it's 200. Okay, then I guess this should have run properly. Coming to our browser, let's see the output. Okay, so here you are seeing the administrator username and his password, winner and his password, this Carlos and his password. All right, so we were successfully able to dump the contents of the username and password column which was present in this users table, right? Is this clear? Now what you can do, you can just copy this and go to my account, username administrator, I've used it, and the password, and your lab will be solved. See, so any doubts in understanding the queries, guys? What queries and when and what was the purpose of the query we used? Any doubts in that, guys? Anyone? Okay, so this was our SQL injection, right? So understanding this particular query is the most important part of it. Okay, so from the very beginning only, if you see, first we determined what kind of, like, what was the database type, right? Then we found what? PostgreSQL, right? And we found the version of it with this, right? After that we found, like, in the cheat sheet we have found this queries which we can use for this purpose, right? So this was for SQL injection. Now it seems like we don't have much time. Which attack are most used while pen testing, and can you teach that? See, still now also I am telling from my personal experience only. So the thing is, for real world web application pen testing, SQL injection is still valid. Okay, it might be rare to find SQL injection in bug bounty programs, but in a web application pen testing, you will still find a lot of SQL injection parameters. Okay, so SQL, I would suggest learn this SQL injection by heart properly. Okay, and besides from that, if you just like follow any kind of courses or certification also, they will teach you SQL injection in there also, right? So SQL injection is very important. All right, guys, so did you guys like the session? How was this? Did you understand everything that I said? So SQL query and the SQL injection, is that clear to you now, guys? Let me know. Okay, all right. All right, guys, so this will be it for today. Okay, so tomorrow we will have our last session that will be on reporting. Okay, so what I would expect you guys to do, that you follow me and Hackers for You in LinkedIn, right? And just do one thing, take a screenshot of this and, like, post in your LinkedIn. Like, if you really liked our approach and our initiative, then you can write a LinkedIn post and tag us, me and the Hackers for You account also. Okay, that way we will know that our efforts were worthy. Okay, guys. So someone is asking, sir, is it good to complete PortSwigger Academy certification? Yes, of course, of course. If you are able to complete all of this topic, then you will have a good understanding of the web application vulnerabilities. Okay, so that is one thing I would suggest everyone. Just wherever you are, whatever point you are learning, have some basic understanding of web development. Okay, just basic understanding of JavaScript and all. Okay, because the HTML injection is little bit only. Okay, so have some basic understanding of JavaScript, PHP, and SQL. Okay, that will be enough. And after that, complete all of these labs. Okay, so this will make you a good web app pen tester. I can assure you that. Bug bounty session as well. So I don't have much experience on bug bounty myself, but I have done some like bounty programs. But I cannot assure you that. But what you can do is you can just, like, mention on LinkedIn, like if you are looking forward to it, then make a post about it, right? And share your interests. Okay, it was a really good session. Thank you guys, thank you so much. I want to learn OWASP top 10 in detail. Where can I learn details? Like real world experience. So from the starting of the session only, I have shown you certain websites. Okay, so the very first one and most important one is the OWASP top 10, right? Then you can see the OWASP cheat sheet. Okay, then this OWASP, just back this out, OWASP security testing guide checklist. Okay, then there is, you will see the cheat sheet and checklist, two type of checklist. You can download both of them. Okay, and then practice on this OWASP juice shop. Okay, you have your that one also, DVWA and other practice also, you can perform that. Okay. Okay, LinkedIn ID is you can just search my name. Okay, Neelabhru Roy, you will get mine. Okay. All right, guys, so it was great having such a like 7 sessions with you guys. Tomorrow we will say goodbye. Okay, so like it was really great to have you guys, and we expect this amount of enthusiasm from you. Okay, guys, so with this I would like to end our session today. All right, sir, for every website I do a skill injection, right? Yeah, when you are testing, okay, when you have permissions, because if you just randomly go into any website and perform SQL injection, maybe you will be successful also, but the impact you cannot imagine. Okay, if they are monitoring their systems and they pick you, then you might have some legal issues. I already practiced this, so is enough? Yes, of course. If you have completed your PortSwigger Academy, no, then you can see like in Try Hack Me and Hack the Boxes. They also have certain dedicated labs for web application. Okay, you can solve that also. Okay, and if you have some good understanding of this kind of PortSwigger labs, then I would suggest jump right into bug bounty. You are capable enough. Okay, if any one of you have completed all of these labs and has good understanding of this, you are ready for bug bounty. Okay, go on and smash some bugs. Okay, so for every website I know, I'm seeing, don't get your name, sir, once again, sir, your LinkedIn. Okay, I will share the, I am currently a full-time cybersecurity analyst at HackerForYou. Okay, so are there any openings for freshers or not? Yeah, for the openings, you just have to follow HackersForYou, right? Just follow, and if there is any update, you will get there only. Map is better or it's better. Manual SQL, manual testing is always better, guys. So this is also one important thing I would like to share. Like if you follow any like bug bounty hunter who is doing good, for example, Nehamsek and others also, so you will see whatever bug or critical bugs they are finding, no, those all of them are manually found bug. Okay, because one thing you need to understand, whatever company is hosting for bug bounty also, they can perform their automatic vulnerability assessment by themselves also, right? So what happens there is, for example, we have seen the vulnerability assessment session, right? We have done Nessus. So the company who is capable enough, who has enough money to host a bug bounty program, can also buy the Nessus Pro version, right? So you have to understand that these websites are being internally or scanned properly by the websites. So what you need to find in bug bounty is that the bugs that are usually not picked up by the scanners. Okay, so you need to deep dive into it. You need to understand the code, what is the functionality of the website, or what is the service they are providing, right? For example, if you are looking for an e-commerce website, then you have to understand the physiology and anatomy of the website. Okay, so from that point of view, manual will give you more better results. Mobile security session if possible. Okay, brute force if we can't apply custom scaling, and brute force if we can't apply custom skill injection. Really, bro? See, brute forcing also has its own limits, because you will see certain websites ask for captcha also, and there are certain websites that has filtration in that process. So it might happen that 5 or 10 tries, and after that you will be blocked, your IP will be blocked. Okay, for that, yeah, for that also you can use the burp suite. There is a one functionality where I can learn exploitation and post exploitation in details. Exploitation and post exploitation. So one of the best way to learn exploitation is solving hack the box. Okay, because they are the greatest one, right? So solving other CTFs as well. From there on, you will get the mentality of how to approach a target. And from there, after when you are good in exploitation, then you can jump for post exploitation. You can use TCM security. Okay, the cyber mentor, you can follow him, or you can follow HackerSploit. Okay, both of them have awesome content for post exploitation. Okay, yeah, try hack me is a good option. So any more question, any more doubts, guys? Because I found many vulnerabilities in my friend's site, but I can't able to exploit yet. Our premium plans of because I found many vulnerabilities in my friend's site, but I can't able to exploit yet. Okay, so you found the vulnerability, right? So that's where the question is. Okay, right? If you like, for the bug bounty perspective also, if you cannot change your bug, if you cannot find anything impactful there, then your bug will be informational, right? So that you need to figure out how to change the bug to get information, right? And one more thing, if your friend's website is a static website, so chances are you won't find anything much from it. Okay, so like chances of finding good bugs is only when the site is dynamic and has multiple functionalities in it. Okay, are premium plans for THM and HTTP worth it? Not for beginners, because for beginners there are lots of free labs you can solve and beginner level. Okay, after you have completed all the free labs, then you can buy the premium. Okay, any job openings for fresher, you have to follow LinkedIn for that. Okay, all right, guys. So I will take your leave now. Okay, it was great having a session with you, and I look forward to the same enthusiasm as well tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. Good night.